All right. Hello. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. This channel, as I said in the last video, I'm going to say it again, is not a particular typical tarot tuber channel. This is more of a way for people in my area in the real world to come look at what I do, I guess, or to get to know me through this way before they decide to come get a reading from me. That said, if you do happen upon this and you're in the Salt Lake City area, that's where I am in Utah. Yeah, you can get a hold of me or you can chit chat on here with me, leave a comment or whatever. I am always happy to just hear what people have to say if you want to say something. So that being said, today is going to be a tarot tag, which is a tarot astrology. Hashtag 12 houses, 12 decks. And Tarot Magpie is the name of the tarot tuber, I guess, that did this first. That I liked it. Me being a person that kind of does a lot of 12 houses and what's your sign kind of combined with tarot, I really thought this one fits to me. And I mean, a lot of the cards have something to do with what sign are you, what signs have what air, fire, earth, water affinity. So I feel like it matches. So without further ado, we'll take a look at what I have here. I'm going to do this way. As you can see, I have my 12 decks already all spread out here. And we'll just try to find a way, I guess, to look at them. So the first deck is going to be Arrival and Emergence, Self-Identity. How you see yourself is going to be this first deck's inspiration, I guess. And here we see a deck that I chose is a manga inspired deck. I really like these pictures. I think we can see a little bit which manga this is, or which manga or anime this is inspired by, and that is kind of the main manga or anime that makes me feel like what I'm like. So that is kind of what I like. I love these pictures, these illustrations. I love the size of these cards and the thickness of this cardstock. I feel like this has a lot of different colors, a lot of different, how do I want to say, like story types. That's a nice death card, huh? A very different looking death. A Princess of Wands. King of Wands. We see this has a little bit of a different breakup, right? Prince and princess instead of page and knight, but the queen and king are there. It's a very interesting way to see the three of pentacles, three of discs. The aces are quite interesting too. Very manga-esque, like little, I guess, Digimon type of creatures. Okay, that's an interesting one, huh? I always love the Hanged Man card. It's one of my favorite cards. Different queens, different pictures. Yeah, what else can be said, huh? That's really a nice look to a tarot deck. Very much still, see, that's beautiful. Still similar to the Rider-Waite-Smith look. I mean, you can usually, I think, really recognize which card it is and interpret it quite well. A couple of them are a little different. Chariot is quite different. Very nice, right? Very cool looking, gorgeous colors. Yeah, so Okay, so that's the first one. Let me just pop that back in the bag really quick. I can already be announcing what the second one is. So in the second house, it's yourself and material world, personal resources, investments, financially, or what's impacted your practice. So this is an interesting one. I don't really remember if this was an investment as far as being expensive or not, but it was definitely a material investment as far as making me the kind of tarot reader that I am. The cards that I'm using right now, as you can see, are under each one here. Third house, fourth house, and so on. Sixth house, seventh house. This is what I'm talking about. It's kind of an oracle deck. It has the 12 houses, it has the planets, and it also has every single star sign. Kind of just tells a little bit about the energy that each one imbues, right? Has a beautiful color palette, shows the constellation in the top corner there to show what they look like. Also the planets to kind of know what planets do what. Well, heavenly bodies, I guess, because the sun is there too. That's not a planet. But that is definitely something that has, sculpted the way that I do tarot. So definitely a good investment. Like I said, how much each of these decks cost, I have no idea. I don't really care. If I want it, I want it. It doesn't matter if it's more or less, I just know if I used it, I enjoyed it, rather than what I spent on that day 5 years ago. I have no idea. So in the third house, communication and learning what is easy to read and for beginners. So in that one, I decided to choose this beautiful deck. I believe it's just called Wydell Tarot. In the third house, very classic, except that the edges of it are golden, so it gives it a really nice shimmer. The back of it is black with a little bit of a sun and moon phase type look to it. But then besides that, okay, it has a little bit of a color dynamic that I don't think is in the classic Rider-Waite. But other than that, okay, some of that's like, some people are black or like Mexican, or I think, like it's not, everyone isn't all white, which is nice. It's kind of cool to give it a little bit of diversity. The people look a little bit different, this guy's got a beard. But other than that, it's just very clear. A little bit nicer to look at. Normal size of the card. Good thickness. But I think the boldness does give it a little something. I love, just a little more description to the wand, to the beard, to the light, here to the chalice, a little bit of black there. Just, I don't know, it looks nice. I love it. Nice, nice, nice. There's two people in that one. Okay, well, we know what a classic Rider-Waite is, right? It's classic. Beautiful. Okay. All right. So then we moved on. We would be going to the fourth house, which is home and roots of your being. And this one, I think she said, the hidden private part of yourself, and kind of a deck that makes you feel nostalgic. And that one I decided to use this tarot deck, which just says tarot, so I'm not exactly sure if it has a specific name. But this is actually a deck that I happen to have because my mother gave it to me. And she just bought it a long time ago. As you can see, it's kind of a Pip style, Marseille style. And you'll see that it's written in German. I'm German, so yeah, she just happened to have this. I guess she just bought it, a couple years ago without anything in mind. Just like maybe this is a fun game or a fun something to try out with kids or grandkids or something. And then when she found out, when I told her I am interested in doing tarot, then she said, oh, I think I have one of those decks. And then she went and found it. And so, whoops, she said, hey, you can... Oh, dang it, that's not good. She said, hey, you can have this if you want. And so it makes me feel nostalgic in that way. Also, it makes me feel home because I got it from right at home from my mother. It was already there. And it's German. You know, I'm a German, so the fact that it's German is kind of a nice little added thing. This is pretty thin, I must say. But I'm careful with cards, so it'll be alright. This does have a nice, different kind of art to it, you know. I do like this sort of half pips and half sometimes illustrated in the pip type of deck. Very, very neat to look at, but still recognizable what it is, you know. That's one thing that I do like, is when you at least have something in there that makes you remember what the card is. Some decks are so abstract, it's just, you know, some weird shape or something, and then it doesn't give me anything. So, but I do love this deck. It's neat. And it's just beautiful, beautiful. Very nice, huh? Okay. Alright, that's that. Oh, this table is not giving me enough room. That's okay though. We got that all figured out. Okay, going on to the fifth house, which is the fun house, the house where you do things that are fun, you create a fun time for yourself. And the way she put it is creativity and play. A deck that is fun to use, or how you play. And there I decided to use the Medieval Cat Tarot. I do have a cat, a black cat, so I do like cats, but this is just kind of I think the fifth house is a house of, you know, where you do things, play games that you would as a child, playing as a child just for fun, not for any purpose except for fun. And I felt like this is kind of a deck that tames the cards down a little to make it even if you wanted to read for a kid, you know. You know, like if you're doing a reading and the child or your niece or nephew is like, oh, what are they doing? And you don't want to get too deep with existential meanings. You just kind of have these cute pictures. They're all cats. And they are fun. I really like the way it has a little picture in the middle and still has a pip style around it, framing it. It really just looks amazing, you know. The aces have a really cool look to them. And look, even death is not too scary for a child, I'd say. We've got this just, you know, just childlike rats. And I must say that sometimes these pictures really kind of made me think of the card in a different way, you know, in a way that I hadn't seen it yet in the traditional Rider-Waite, where it's so simplified because you want probably even a child to understand what is going on, that, you know, the simplification made it even, for me, understandable. I just love it. It's just gorgeous imagery. You know, even the devil is kind of cute, playful, not intensely scary. The kings really show what element they are on the card with a wheel of water or whatever the other things may be. The Hanged Man. Beautiful ace. The aces always have an animal in there. Anyway, so that's that one. Okay, moving on to the 6th, which is habits. Yeah, the house of things that you have to do, right? Things that are not about fun, but about getting done whatever it is that you gotta get done. And the prompt, the way she put it, is habits, systems, and routines. A deck that you use regularly, routinely. I chose Trionfi della Luna, one of my favorite decks. It really is a deck that I use a lot for myself as well as for others, because everyone is kind of drawn to this imagery that is on there already. It's kind of silly, kind of naughty, I guess. Unruly. People seem to like that. And this is a deck that I just love the imagery, and despite it being... Oh, there's some... Oops, I forgot some of these cards. Oh, a tower. Well, that's interesting. We'll have to read into that later. Oh, well. Okay, so some colorful, beautiful, colorful imagery. Very, very cool. And I already have... This is my first deck from Patrick Villens. I bought 2 more after this one because of how much I love this this coloring on it, and just the way the emotions are carried over, the way this everything has these moon faces. It's just very interesting. Very, very, I don't know, colorful. You wouldn't think it'd be so enjoyable to look at all these weird guys, but to me it is. They're just so, I don't know, charming, I guess I would put in a way, but it does, I don't know, it conveys the memento of the card to me very well. It's just one of those decks where I can get what I'm supposed to get out of it, out of every card. And this guy is also very generous with the cards. This is like over 78. I think there's maybe like 85 or 90 cards in this deck, because he just adds extra cards, you know, does 2 different illustrations for one version of a card or something like that. It's very interesting. Let me just hurry and put this cat memes put together. Forgot about that. Okay, so then we're going to the 7th house. In the 7th house, we have business partners, deeply compelled to readings for other people. No, not compelled, connected. 7th house, it says deeply connected to, or a deck that you use to do readings for other people. So in that 7th house, I decided on using the Light Visions Tarot in a nice tin. This is a very interesting deck. Oops, in that the cards of a suit connect to each other. You can see if this was a 9 and 10 of the same suit, they would just butt up right there and it would create one picture. Only the major arcana are framed as their own artworks, and everything is in this kind of a wood stamp feel, you know, just light and dark. The reason I'm connected to it is because my first Rider White deck is no longer with me. I traded it to the owner of this deck, a wonderful Scorpio Witch from Kyrgyzstan. So it's just a special connection to a friendly person that I don't really have in my life anymore right now because I live in America. They live in Germany still. And it's just very mystical to me for that reason. I mean, you can see how amazing these pictures are. With no use of color, simply just light and dark, it can convey so much in so many ways. And like I said, the way that these images connect to each other like that is amazing. Is this no, those are Wands and Pentacles as well. Oh, there's a 9 and 10. Like we can see it right here. 9 and 10. And then you just kind of have that connecting. So I really love that and love this deck. It's beautiful. So many different ways to see things. You know, I mean, so many decks are so different from each other. So many unique ways to interpret this. And I just love seeing each one. Oops. There we go. Okay, on to the next one. Number 8, the sex, death, and occult, right? A lot of hard-hitting things in the 8th house. Relationships to others and their resources. It's a house of shared resources. Transformations, secrets to be uncovered. So shadow work or magic was the kind of, what is a deck that looks like shadow work or magic? And I had to pick the Jim Henson's Labyrinth Tarot deck. Because if I think of magic, I really think of this. We found the magician to make sure we see him. David Bowie, right? If you've seen this movie, it's amazing. And everything in that movie is so magical. It's a kind of a Pips deck. So, and they changed it, you know, instead of cups, there's cauldrons. Instead of swords, there's feathers. Instead of wands, there's sticks, I guess. But all these different characters are illustrated in here in such a beautiful way. Oh, not cauldrons, pots. But whatever. Instead of pentacles, there's just junk, different junk things. But this is a very magical deck to me. I mean, to have a deck that just has pips like this, and then you can kind of read in the guidebook, it's kind of amazing. I like the way that this deck works. Although it is a deck that I use the guidebook with it a lot and let the guidebook tell me what it interprets out of these moments, because I feel like this isn't exactly like the Wheel of Fortune. This, I mean, I've seen the movie so many times when I was little that every card will make me think of that character or that part in the movie, which kind of takes me away from, you know, the title of the card of the Rider-Waite-Smith tradition. So, but it's kind of good, right? It's good to have variety. Junk. The High Priestess. See that? That's right. I would just be like, that doesn't remind me of the High Priestess with those two pillars at all. So you kind of go by, okay, what do you think about that? The Hermit's kind of similar. The King is just that little worm that says never take this way. I don't know. I mean, I love it. It's very cool looking. It's a nice big size of card, a little bit wider. It's a nice thickness too. So it's just a fun deck. Really a unique deck, a little something different, you know, not like every other deck. Okay, next, the 9th house. Worldviews, exploration, expanded perspective on tarot, spiritual, and I don't know, something like that. So there I decided to use the biblical tarot, other than the fact that it is the 9th house and it is about spiritual exploration as well as actual travel. The prompt was, it's a deck that expanded your view on tarot, and this is one that I purposely ordered. This is quite new to me. I just barely ordered this the other day because some people, or a lot of people I'd say, would say that I can't be Christian and a tarot reader. And I would say, you know, I mean, this card, I mean, this has a lot of cards that shows it, but the tower in this card is the Tower of Babel, which is very Christian, very religious, right? But I mean, that's what the tower is in the Rider-Waite-Smith as well. At least I think so. I interpret as that tower is, you know, it has that lightning strike. It's an act of God. So very, I mean, we have so much Christian, or at least spiritual, faith type of symbolic in the Rider-Waite-Smith deck. And anyway, I refuse to believe that I can't, you know, ask for guidance in a way that doesn't include another person. Because I mean, that's kind of what the church, any church, whatever church it is, does, right? They say, well, you can't use that because you're supposed to come to our guy that tells you what God told him to tell you. And it's like, I think God is supposed to tell each one, you know, pray to me. Ask me what I want from you, not some other guy. I didn't talk to him. Oh yeah, the Lovers, right? The Lovers is also in the Rider-Waite-Smith, literally with that tree with the snake and the apple, isn't it? I mean, I'm pretty sure. Death looks amazing. Oops. And I love a lot of the Bible stories, and these Bible stories are in here, just kind of matching it up and telling you which one is which when they actually already are in that Rider-Waite-Smith. And this deck is pretty cool looking, pretty beautiful, nice colorations, vibrant. Every now and then they'll have that little Bible verse down there, right? I don't know. I like the stories. I mean, I just went and saw The Prince of Egypt with my sister and my niece just 2 nights ago, and that was a little bit different than you read it in the Bible or the way I saw it in the animated movie when I was little. but it's still a great story. Prince of Egypt. So I like that one a lot. Nice deck. Okay, we are already at number 10, right? She said this is the noon sky, seeks recognition. Oh, this is, yeah, the 10th house is about your reputation, how people see you, right? How they would announce you if you were giving a talk at a university, the stuff that they would say before you get to the podium, as I feel it. So her prompt was, defines your style, a deck you trust to get it right. And there, definitely Everyday Tarot, a nice little purple box. You can see it's a pretty small one compared to most. It has a nice little opening like this to look at it, and it has a little guidebook with it. But this coloration of this deck is, for me, as I love artistic liberty, it's just, I don't know if you call it Art Deco, but it's very like 3 colors. That's it. That's all you need, and very stylistic, right? Nice, easy shapes. You know exactly what the cards are. They really bring it across nicely. And this is definitely my kind of style. I really love this. This is just beautiful. I like, as it's called, Everyday Tarot. This is one that for a very long time I always used for my morning, you know, having my tea or coffee in the morning and then looking out the window and doing my little reading. And I just think it's gorgeous. I mean, to have everything that you have in a traditional Rider-Waite deck just shown so easily, so symbolized so well, that you can really recognize, you get out of it what you need to get out of it. And it just looks cool to me. It's just such a cool looking, again, the Hanged Man is one of those cards that I kind of compare each time when I get a new deck, you know, to see, do I like that card? And I do, and the aces. Whoops. Oh, wow. King of Wands. Fiery Passion. Same with the Hermit. That's also one of those cards I always look at, because that's my soul card. You know, it's one of those things. The Tower. Beautiful, beautiful. Nice. Okay, all right. We got that one. The next is going to be 11, which is the, oops, oh no. 11 is the house of communication, luck, friendship, social occasions, those kind of things. Traditionally, it's in Aquarius, so it's really one of those, you know. I decided Pride Tarot. Oh, I wanted to read her prompt, right? So, community and collaborations, teamwork. Her prompt was activism and a collective energy. Definitely one of the easiest, quickest, decided on which tarot to use was this one, because this is very much activism. A lot of the cards speak about collectivism and you know, doing good work. They have so many interesting looks like this. Each card is designed by somebody else. One of these cards is actually a card that I have in another deck, a Patrick Valenza deck. He also designed one of these cards, or used one of his cards basically as the entry for this deck. So it makes each card very unique to the others because it's always a completely different person that's creating the card and that's writing their personal thing into the card. And that makes it, of course, super interesting. I mean, it also makes me, one card I love, the other card I'm kind of confused about or just not as in love with or indifferent to, but it gives you beautiful things like this, very neat black and white. And then it gives you others that are just more like this, colorful and super like a painting. Some of these like a real, that's also like a old style medieval painting, I'd say. I mean, the art styles goes from cartoon to back to this watercolor forest. It's really crazy. It's kind of fun to look at. It's just neat. Some really just, I mean, what is that, right? That's just crazy. That's so neat, cool, I don't know, fantastic. What should I call it? It's kind of fun to look at these and see if I see that one. I mean, some of them are a little bit celebrity-like. Some of them are super heartfelt and touching. Super like just a cute little, hey, I want to draw a cute dude type of a thing, right? Little sailor man. And others are actually like just, I don't know, thought-provoking or just a normal regular guy type of thing. So much going on in every one of these cards. It's quite fun. There, for instance, is that Patrick Valenza card. I have this deck too where this card is actually the Two of Swords. So that's kind of funny. When I opened it, I was like, where have I seen that before? That was before I actually knew that I was an artist that I liked. It was just a deck that I had, and I was like, wait a minute. I don't have this deck. Why did I recognize that card? Anyway. Okay. So now we're coming to the last deck here, the last house, the 12th house, which is a tough one, right? Things that are not visible to ourselves or to others, the unconscious, the secret, fears and dreams and fantasies, secrets and hidden depths. This is one that is supposed to give us hidden knowledge. And I've picked Necronomicon. This is a crazy deck that quite literally is about exploring our fears. So, as that's apparently what this whole 12th house is about. The 12th house is kind of a weird one to explain. I like this. This is the card back. It's quite thick, so it's quite nice. But this is a deck that really explores our fears. Contamination, the 14. See, so we have a lot of different interpretations. 5 of beakers. Beakers instead of cups. The pentacles are the same. Aliens. Look at that. Number 6. Instead of lovers, we have aliens. Each one in the major arcana is going to just be a fear instead of I guess a virtue, but they're not all virtues, but just instead of the regular arcana, major arcana, they have the fears in there. Oh, here the thoughts are books instead of swords. Queen of Pentacles. This is just a very fun art style, nice colors, nice ideas, and it's very interesting to read with. Like, it does give you kind of a theme, right? This isn't one where you ask any question. The question is always, what are my fears that I'm not aware of? What is it that is making me tense, uneasy? Where is my anxiety coming from? I think it's Lovecraft is the name of the writer that is kind of the inspiration of all of this here. King of Pentacles, 6 of Books. Change, how about that? the 10, right? Instead of the Wheel of Fortune, we have change. Anyway, it's a very niche type of thing. You know, this is not like a first tarot deck, because this is kind of, you can't use this for everything. This is number 2 is imagination is my fear. I mean, this isn't just like a normal use deck. You know, this is a specific type of use. Knowledge. Corruption. But it does have its use. It really does. Wow, look at that. Authority. Ooh, that's a good one, huh? Death. Sleuthu. Chaos. Torches, you know, wands. Beakers. And it makes it fun to look at every single card, doesn't it? These colors are nice and well contrasted to the darkness. Creepy enough to just make you want to think about everything. Anyway, here we are at the end. That's the 12th house as I see it. Okay, so let me know what you guys think about my video. Do you have any of these decks? Do you see things the way I see it? Do you see things differently? Yeah, you know, I mean, I like just hearing comments. I like talking about tarot and astrology and blah, blah, blah. I think it's very interesting. Do you use the 12 houses? Do you feel like you fit into your star sign? Like the other day, I had a lady tell me at one of our tarot place things that she doesn't feel at all like she really matches with the sign that she is. And I said, well, it's probably because that's just your sun sign. But, you know, if you only have the sun in that place and everything else is in a different place, that might be the reason why you totally seem like a different sign, because that's where all your planets are. And for me, I have a lot of planets in the same sign. That's my sun sign, and even some others that are also in the same element. And so, I mean, to me, it works out well. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed. Hope you have a nice night or day or whatever you're having. And I'll see you in the next one.